Gents, there are certain things that really move the needle forward. What I'm going to be talking to you guys about in this video really isn't one of them. That said, there's certain things in life that are easy wins, and what I'm going to be talking about in this video definitely is one of those things where, look, it may not be a monumental shift in your business, but just implementing this stuff is such an easy win, and it does give you that extra 5 or 10%. Now, when you're in the business-to-business service-based industry, the way that you present yourself can have a massive impact on the client's perception of you. You need to make sure that you are presentable, you are appropriately dressed, and that your audio and video is good. Now, the inspiration to make this video actually came about because of the students in Copy Paste Agency. So I'm sure most of you guys know, I've got my high level program, Copy Paste Agency. We've got agency owners in there doing 2K a month and agency owners in there doing 100K a month. In that program, it's not so much about where you start, it's about where you're trying to head to and the destination. And all of these people in here are aggressively trying to get to multi-5 figures, even 6 figures a month in profit. Now, one of the perks that comes with Copy Paste Agency is, first of all, whenever we're interviewing, recently we got 150 applicants and did 45 interviews for a new performance marketer role. We had 300 applicants for people to become appointment setters of ours. And, we can only end up hiring, one or maybe a couple of these different roles. So the other 10 to 15 absolute killers that we found and we interviewed and vetted ourselves, we give to the students. Apart from the program and the ridiculous amount of support and mentorship that comes with it, we do stuff like that. Another thing that we do is we have strategic referral partners. So as an agency, currently at the moment, I have around 30 to 40 demo calls a month. So what that is a sales call. Danny does the first 15-minute demo, and then from there, if they're a good fit for our agency, he'll book in a longer 45-minute discovery call. Anyways, I only take like 10 of those, so that means there's around 20 to 30 leads that are good because we've already qualified them because we have pre-qualifying questions, but they just aren't a right fit for our agency or potentially in a different niche that we don't service. So we actually give those to the Copy Paste Agency students. Long story short, I build partnerships and I send lots of qualified leads to my students in Copy Paste Agency every single month. So actually a few weeks ago, I was setting up our flow and our process for me sending leads to our strategic referral partners. And I actually just had to call me, Danny, and the CPA students to set everything up. And one thing that I noticed is a lot of them didn't optimize their environment. Like I had to tell them, I was like, look, change up the background a bit, improve your audio, improve your video. But let's go ahead and start off with the background. If you have a nice background, show it off. Subliminally, it'll improve your perception in your client's eyes. For example, at my old place in London, like I had my beautiful whale behind me, I had my lights, I had my Bang & Olufsen speaker, I had my Hue lights, like it looked very clean and like a chic modern apartment, which is what it was. So, I had no issues showing it off. At the old villa prior to this, I had a very nice sweeping modern background behind me. It's annoying because in this place, my office, I have a separate wing for my office. The office is ridiculous here, but it actually faces a white wall. Whereas if I had turned it around, it would face the sweeping courtyard and the pool and this and that, but then I'd be backlit. And you never want to be backlit from a video perspective, and we'll touch on that. But like, even if I had done this video in like some just really dingy room, without you even knowing anything about me, seeing that in the background and seeing, what is quite clearly a really cool villa, I don't even need to open my mouth. There's immediately perceived value there. So if you have a nice background, show it off. If you don't, no issues at all. Just make sure that you have a white wall behind you or anything that's just non-revealing. Like when I see people taking sales call and you can see their bed in the back and you can see their wardrobe, and like, guys, it's insanity. It's nuts. Be professional. Come across professional. As I said, there has to be no beds in the background, no wardrobes, no mess, no people walking in the background. I don't want it to look like you're taking sales calls in your living room and then your girlfriend or your mom is walking in the back or anything nuts like that. So that's background. Easy enough. And I apologize because there are, I don't know what they're called here in South Africa, but yeah, they're like these flying geese. And but the next thing that I want to touch on is audio and video. Now for audio, your computer may be good enough. And for example, some of the new 2019 or 2020, I think it's the 2020 MacBooks. They've got like the new upgraded mics, the studio mics or whatever the hell. Like at this point, I don't even know what I'm buying when I buy a MacBook. I'm like, all right, I run my entire life on this thing. I might as well have the nicest one. But anyways, my point is your computer may be good enough, but if you have some spare cash, get a Blue Yeti. Although, the computer mic is good enough, I take all of my sales calls with a Blue Yeti, a professional microphone. And I've tried the Rode Procaster. I've tried a different audio technique. Like I've tried more expensive ones and I always come back to the Blue Yeti. I think it has the most full sound. Vocally, I think it just sounds the best. And if you don't have $120 spare to spend on a Blue Yeti, just get like a cheap $15 lapel mic. You can stick it into your computer, feed it through like here, and you'll have amazing audio. Damn, they're really going at it.
What's up, man?
You need to understand that people can forgive mediocre video quality, especially when it's like webcam. Like, people don't expect nuts video quality, but people cannot forgive bad audio quality. If I'm on Zoom and I'm speaking to someone and they have bad audio quality, like, first of all, I have a terrible perception of them. Second, it's a constant like annoyance. In the same way, you have sort of like background, like, okay, well, I guess this is it's a little more, I feel more one with Earth. You know, with those sort of sounds, or like, you know, if there's birds chirp, like, you know, those are sounds I guess you don't really mind too much. But like, it's the same thing like when maybe in your house, in your apartment, and there's drilling going on next door. Like, it's just an annoyance and you just want to evacuate the situation as quickly as possible. So as I said, audio is so important. Now when it comes to video, as I said, people are a little more forgiving when you're on like video calls and stuff like that of not as good video quality. So for video, your computer will most of the time do the trick, but make sure you're well lit. You need to understand this, that like, I was even talking to Kieran, obviously you guys know the product manager of GrowYourAgency, and he was back at his family home because everything that's going on in the world, and he was like geeking out over this new camera that he got, that he spent money on, like this video camera. And I was like, dude, that's not gonna do anything. You're backlit, like you are facing here, there's a window behind you. You could get the nicest 4K camera, your video quality is still gonna be terrible. So make sure you are well lit. If you can, face a window and let natural light come in. That is by far your best option. Now on another note, if the inbuilt camera quality is just really like not up to par, it's just not up to scratch, then you can get an external webcam. The monitor that obviously now I've just got my MacBook Pro 2020 version, the 16-inch one. But in London, I have the LG 5K monitor. I've been using it for like 18 months now. It's the one with the camera on top, and that's specifically, I've tried like 7 different monitors. And I was so happy when I finally found that one, because as I said, it's got the camera on top and it's an upgraded 1080p camera. So it's not like mind-blowing quality, it's not 4K, but it does an incredible job. So yeah, if need be, go ahead and get an external webcam. Now, from a clothing perspective, honestly, just wear whatever you wear day to day as long as it's professional. In my opinion, if you don't day to day wear a button up, don't wear a button up on your sales call. Like, this is just me in my normal day to day outfit, like just a t-shirt, some jeans, and some sneakers. Like, that's kind of my day to day. I dress very casual, but not so much like I never wear sweatpants. I don't really wear hoodies that much unless it's the Gadzhi hoodie. So for me, I'm not gonna put on a button down just to get on a call with a client. Like, if a client judges me based off of what shirt I'm wearing, then you know, I think I have bigger issues there with the client. But you still want to be professional. So what I mean by that is, don't wear like a tank top or anything ridiculous like that. As long as you're wearing a t-shirt, maybe a sweater, maybe a turtleneck, like whatever you wear day to day, just wear that. I never let my client dictate what I'm wearing. The only thing that I will say, and this is just, this will apply to 0.01% of you, but I also know that you guys might find it a little entertaining or intriguing. The only thing that I will say is I actually do switch up what watch I'm wearing if I know in advance kind of a little bit more about the client. When I'm talking to e-commerce businesses, I don't really know much about the business owner, but when I'm talking to info product business owners, they will have a personal brand. So I know what age they are, sort of what style their content is. Like, I'll get to know a little bit about who they are as a person. And look, if I get the vibe that the client is a little more young and contemporary, then I might wear my rose gold AP. Like, let's say I start off the day wearing my rose gold Royal Oak, I'll just wear that for the sales call. But so yeah, I'll have that in mind. But let's say I'm wearing a steel Nautilus, I'll switch into a rose gold Royal Oak. So like, as I said, if I'm talking to a client who's maybe a little more young and contemporary, I might be wearing my rose gold Day or my rose gold Royal Oak. If I get the vibe that the client is a little older, you know, when I'm speaking to like a German or a Dutch client, then I'll go ahead and wear a steel Daytona. This isn't so much like a sales tactic or something for me. It's more just like, I do the same thing based on what sort of social environments I'm going to. So if I'm going to Annabelle's, which is a private members club, then I'll probably throw on my steel, the 5711 Nautilus. But if I'm going to Soho House, which is another private members club, then, you know, I'll probably throw on my rose gold Aquanaut, something a little more casual. So as I warned you, this last point might seem a little irrelevant. To be honest, for most people it is. All I guess I'm trying to say is know who you're speaking to. In the same way, one thing I will say is, like, I definitely have a very specific style, but sometimes, you know, I'll mix it up. For example, from Kooples, I've got this Jaguar print shirt. If I'm speaking to a German client, just from my experience, like, you know, maybe I might decide to throw on a Loro turtleneck instead. You know, so I guess that's kind of where you might relate. You might have a little bit of a more eccentric taste when it comes to your dress sense, and maybe depending on the client you're speaking to, you might want to tone it down a little bit. But as I said, don't start wearing button downs and like suits and this and that just for the sake of it. To give you another example, like, I wear very low, like I like low key. I don't have any sort of branded stuff. I don't wear branded hoodies and this and that, anything like that. So like I don't have any like Balenciaga or like Gucci, like, you know, I'm not too into that, or like Yves Saint Laurent hoodies, anything like that. But for example, if you have a Balenciaga hoodie and you know you are speaking to someone who's a little more young, then throwing on the Balenciaga hoodie may be a subliminal show that, like, it's without saying anything, it shows that you are successful. Whereas if you got an older client, or for example, someone like me who's a little bit of like an older soul, if I see someone with a Balenciaga hoodie, it doesn't say anything to me. But for a lot of people, it does. So as I said, when it comes to the way you dress, or maybe even some of the jewelry you wear or anything like that, just kind of know the client you're speaking to. Now, between making your environment presentable, making sure that you have good video and good audio, as well as just, I guess, knowing who you're speaking to and just kind of like sometimes adjusting your clothing to that person, but just in general, wearing very safe, clean, presentable clothing. Those are 3 extremely easy wins, but over the long term, that will have profound effects, especially just like making sure the background is presentable and the audio video thing. Like those 2, especially. The clothing I threw in as kind of an extra, but like those 2 will have such profound effects. I'd say the second half of 2019 and definitely this year, the clothing that I've worn the most when I've signed clients is the Gadzhi clothing. The Gadzhi hoodie, as well as the season 2, all the Gadzhi prints. You know, guys, I make clothing that I would wear, and I wear my stuff day to day, and that's why, like, you know, I like, you guys have seen, I really like graphic tees, but with something small here, and then, you know, a cool print on the back. I would never wear a big print on the front or anything like that, except for the youth never satisfied. I love the message across here, but once again, it's very kind of low key and played down well. But anyways, my point is, guys, I know hundreds and thousands of others that have taken sales calls in the Gadzhi clothing and have closed clients in the Gadzhi clothing. I've gone on dates in that clothing, I've closed clients in that clothing, I have taken team meetings in that clothing, I've gone to the gym in that clothing, I've been to many continents in that clothing. So at the time this video goes out, obviously a little bit different from when I recorded it. I'm not sure what we have available in stock, but whenever we do restock, it sells out pretty quickly. So go ahead and check out the lineup at Gadzhi Clothing right now. Hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'll see you in the next one.